So, I want you to picture a laboratory. This is in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Okay.
The lights are dimmed, and there's a subject just sort of drifting off to sleep.
Right.
And over their hand, they're wearing this specialized glove. It's rigged with all these biometric sensors.
Oh, yeah, the whole setup.
Yeah, exactly. The system is silently monitoring their physiological data, just waiting for the absolute millisecond that their brainwaves begin to stretch out and shift from wakefulness to that very first fringe of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And at that precise moment, a recorded voice just softly whispers a single phrase into the room. And it says, "Remember to think of a tree."
Right.
And then, a few minutes later, the subject is gently woken up. And when they're asked what was in their mind, they report dreaming of a giant oak with roots sprawling across a forest floor.
It's wild. Because we are looking at a reality happening right now, like August of 2026.
Yeah.
And that scenario, it isn't some anomaly. The architecture of the subconscious is being actively mapped. Laboratories are reliably steering human dreams on command. Like they're building protocols to purposefully plant concepts into the sleeping mind.
It's science fiction happening right now.
Absolutely. It represents a fundamental shift in how we understand human consciousness.
Which is why we're here. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 6 of Lucid Journeys. Today we are doing a deep dive into the astonishing actual science of dream engineering. We are going to explore the biology of how this works, and then we're going to break down how you can use this exact mechanism tonight, without any of the laboratory equipment. But before we get into the biological mechanics of the mind, we have a massive real-world arrival to acknowledge.
We do. We really do.
After months and months of anticipation and development, Book 2, The Dreams of Phillip Ashling and the Lucid Multiverse, is officially out in the world today.
It is so exciting. Seeing this project finally reach readers' hands is just profoundly rewarding. The support and, the build-up to this moment has been incredible to witness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really have to send out the warmest wave of gratitude to our earliest believers, our Kickstarter backers.
Oh, absolutely.
You guys took a chance on this story before anyone else. Your first-in-the-world copies are shipping right now, packed with all the promised physical extras, including those the stickers of Phillip and his friends.
Which look amazing, by the way.
They really do. And for anyone who is just discovering the series, the timing is absolutely perfect.
Because the thematic overlap between the fictional world of Phillip Ashling and the real-world science we're discussing today is just, it's striking.
Yeah.
The book explores a multiverse navigated exclusively through lucid dreaming. While, waking world science is busy building its own technological doorway into that exact same state of consciousness.
So let's walk right through that doorway. Okay, let's unpack this. The protocol being developed at the MIT Media Lab is targeted dream incubation, or TDI.
Right, TDI.
To understand how they're achieving this, we have to look at the specific brain state that they're targeting, which is hypnagogia. This is the N1 stage of sleep, that highly fluid transitional hallway between waking and sleeping where you might, see geometric patterns or hear a random voice.
Exactly. And from a neurological standpoint, your brain is undergoing this massive frequency shift during this phase.
Okay.
While you're awake and alert, your brain operates primarily in beta waves.
Right.
But as you close your eyes and you just relax, those slow down into alpha waves. Hypnagogia occurs precisely at that handoff, when those alpha waves begin dissolving into the much slower, lower frequency zeta waves.
Okay, but how does the equipment actually detect that invisible shift? Because it's invisible to us on the outside.
Well, the primary instrument is a wearable device called Dormio.
Oh, that's the glove.
Right, the glove. And it hunts for that exact zeta wave transition using physical markers. So it continuously measures subtle drops in heart rate variability, minute changes in muscle tone, and a decrease in electrodermal activity.
Which is what exactly?
Electrodermal activity is essentially the microscopic level of sweat on your skin that indicates physiological arousal.
Oh, okay.
So when that activity plummets, the system knows the waking mind is powering down.
So the glove knows the second your body drops its guard. But my question is, if you play an audio cue to someone who's just falling asleep, shouldn't they just wake up?
You'd think so, yeah.
Right. How does the brain take a spoken sentence and turn it into a visual dream without jarring the entire system back into beta waves?
That mechanism relies on a process called sensory gating.
Okay.
The thalamus acts as the brain's switchboard for external information. When you fall asleep, the thalamus attempts to close the gate, right? It blocks external stimuli from reaching the cortex so you can rest.
But in hypnagogia,
that gate isn't completely sealed.
it's porous.
Exactly. It is porous.
So the whisper gets through the gap in the door.
Yes.
Well,
The audio slips in. But because the frontal lobe, the logical analytical part of your waking brain, that's already offline.
right, it's asleep.
Right. So the brain doesn't process the whisper as a literal voice in the room. Instead, the highly associative theta state desperately tries to make sense of the incoming data by integrating it with the internal imagery it's already starting to generate.
Oh, wow. So it translates the sound into the visual language of the dream.
Exactly. You hear the word tree, and the brain spontaneously paints the oak to contextualize the data.
That is wild.
The results are striking. In early landmark studies, roughly 70% of dream reports from the incubation group feature this specific targeted cue.
70%.
Yeah. And some newer refined protocols have pushed that incorporation rate above 90%.
Okay, what fascinates me most, though, is the research published just this year proving that these planted seeds, they don't stay confined to that brief hypnagogic window.
Right.
They're showing up hours later during REM sleep, the deepest dreaming phase. Like, how does a concept planted at 10 o'clock at night survive all the way to 3 in the morning?
Well, it comes down to how the brain prioritizes memory consolidation. When you seed a concept at the very onset of sleep, you are essentially tagging that information with a high priority marker.
Oh, I see.
So as you cycle through the deeper slow wave stages of sleep, the brain is sorting through the day's data, deciding what neural connections to keep and what to prune.
And because it was the very last thing introduced before the system powered down, it gets pushed to the front of the sorting line.
Exactly. And when REM sleep triggers later in the night to integrate those preserved memories with emotional processing, the tagged concept reemerges, fully formed within the architecture of the REM dream narrative.
That is just incredible. And, the biometric technology measuring all this is incredibly sophisticated, obviously. But the underlying neurobiology is something humans have been hacking for centuries.
Oh, for thousands of years.
Right, like Thomas Edison and Salvador Dalí, they didn't have Dormio gloves monitoring their electrodermal activity.
No, definitely not.
But they reliably accessed this exact same theta wave state to harvest creative ideas.
Yes, they utilized mechanical means to catch the sudden muscle atonia that accompanies sleep onset. Dalí's famous slumber with a key technique is a perfect example.
Oh, I love this story.
It involves sitting in a chair, holding a heavy metal key over a tin plate on the floor. As his brain transitioned into theta waves, his voluntary muscles would experience natural sleep paralysis.
So his hand would go slack.
Right.
And the key would crash onto the plate.
Yes, and it would wake him up at the exact moment his mind was generating those bizarre, associative, hypnagogic images. He would then immediately sketch them.
And Edison did the exact same thing with steel balls to solve engineering bottlenecks. I mean,
Right.
They were performing manual targeted dream incubation.
Modern TDI is simply a refined biometric evolution of that historical practice.
Yeah.
The objective remains the same,
Yeah.
accessing a state of consciousness where rigid waking logic is suspended. And that allows for rapid, novel problem solving, accelerated learning, and hyper-associated creativity.
And long before Dalí and Edison, ancient cultures were utilizing the same neurobiology in dream temples.
Right.
People would sleep in dedicated sacred spaces, specifically to incubate dreams for healing or guidance. The interface was completely different, obviously. It was driven by ritual, architecture, intense preparation, but they were successfully seeding their hypnagogia.
And the researchers driving modern dream engineering openly acknowledge this lineage.
They do, yeah.
They understand that the Dormio glove is just a modern instrument playing an incredibly old song. The essential technology driving this isn't the biometric sensor or the audio algorithm.
No.
The essential technology is the combination of human intention and precise timing.
Which brings us to the practical application for whoever is listening right now.
Absolutely.
Because if the biometric glove is just a tool to locate a biological threshold that every single person crosses every night, we inherently possess the hardware to do this.
We do. We all do.
So I want to look at how we can implement a clinically validated, completely no-tech version of targeted dream incubation tonight.
Let's do it.
Consider this your Lucid Academy elective for the week. Because if I am attempting this, my instinct is to just, lay down, close my eyes, and think about a problem I need to solve until I fall asleep.
Right. And taking that approach usually leads to one of two outcomes.
Okay.
Either the cognitive load of analyzing the friction of the problem keeps you stranded in beta waves and prevents sleep entirely.
Oh, because you're stressing over it.
Exactly. Or your mind wanders completely and the intention dissolves before you reach theta.
Yeah.
The preparation really must happen before you get into bed.
Hmm.
You start by selecting a single positively framed intention.
Okay, why does the positive framing matter from a biological standpoint?
Well, negative framing, such as focusing on a stressful obstacle at work, triggers cortisol release.
Yeah.
And cortisol signals the nervous system to remain alert, keeping the sensory gate wide open and blocking sleep onset.
Which is why we toss and turn when we're stressed.
Exactly. By isolating the positive destination,
Mm-hmm.
asking what is a creative solution to my project, or what should I make next, you bypass the stress response while still giving the subconscious a clear target.
Okay, so once I have that clear, positive question, I need to physically write it down on a piece of paper next to the bed. And I know a lot of people will ask why they can't just type it into their phone's notes app.
Right, the phone. Well, using a screen introduces blue light, which actively suppresses the melatonin production required to reach hypnagogia.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Furthermore, the act of physically writing engages your motor cortex and requires sustained, deliberate focus.
Mm-hmm.
In an environment saturated with digital ephemera, putting physical ink on physical paper signals to your brain that this specific thought holds tangible weight.
Wow, yeah.
It acts as a physical anchor in the waking world for the concept you are about to carry into the sleeping one.
That physical separation from digital noise makes complete sense. So once the anchor is set, I'm getting into bed and translating that written sentence into a concrete visual.
Yes, the dreaming mind communicates primarily through sensory symbols, not syntax.
Right, because text is a waking world construct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If your intention is finding a new direction for a creative project, repeating those English words in your head won't give the subconscious the raw material it needs. You must visualize yourself standing at a workbench or holding a blank canvas.
Okay, and then the critical challenge comes next. Holding that visualized image while actually drifting off.
Yes, it requires a highly specific balance of attention. You are attempting to slide through the same hypnagogic window the MIT glove targets, but bringing your chosen intention with you.
It feels similar to surfing a wave, honestly.
That's a great analogy.
Right, because if you lean too hard and overanalyze the intention, you wipe out and snap back awake. But if you lean completely back and let your mind go totally slack, you lose the wave and just black out into deep sleep. You have to find that fluid balance of holding the image lightly in your peripheral awareness while allowing your physical body to fall asleep around you.
And cultivating that balance takes practice.
Yeah.
And the final step of the protocol is crucial for retaining whatever you capture. When you wake up, whether it is in the middle of the night or the morning, you must remain completely motionless.
Okay, yes. Keep the eyes closed. Do not reach for the phone. Do not stretch. Do not roll over.
None of it. Physical movement immediately floods the brain with neurochemicals designed to activate the body for the waking world.
Wow.
That sudden physiological shift instantly flushes the fragile, short-term memory buffer where your dream recall is currently stored. By remaining motionless, you preserve that buffer just long enough to retrieve the dream data and transfer it into your waking memory.
Okay, I want to view this protocol through the lens of a tired parent or an exhausted professional who tries this tonight.
Sure.
They set the positive intention, they write it down, they hold the visual, but they are so exhausted they drop into heavy sleep in 30 seconds and wake up remembering absolutely nothing.
Which is very common.
Right. We need to be clear that this isn't a magic trick that guarantees a full-blown cinematic lucid dream on night one.
Managing expectations is vital. Clinical environments achieve 70 to 90% success rates because they are utilizing serial awakening.
Oh, they're waking them up over and over.
Right, waking the subject up multiple times precisely at sleep onset to harvest data. When practicing this independently at home, you are planting a seed. The neural pathways required to carry an intention through the sleep cycle and retrieve it upon waking must be strengthened through repetition.
So the first few attempts might yield nothing. Or, on night 3, you might wake up with just a fragmented, fleeting image that loosely connects to the intention you set.
Yes.
But even that tiny fragment is monumental.
It is.
It proves that the biological machinery works and that you are the instrument capable of purposefully steering your own subconscious.
And understanding that you possess this agency leads directly into a critical ethical discussion surrounding the rapidly expanding dream tech industry.
Oh, this is the part that gets a little scary.
Yeah, because the same neurological vulnerability that allows you to incubate a creative solution also makes the sleeping mind highly susceptible to external influence.
Right.
The borderland of sleep is a state where our critical defense mechanisms are lowered, and we are seeing technical proof that advertising within sleep is feasible.
Yeah, think about it. If an audio cue in a lab can prompt a sleeper to dream of a tree, an audio cue programmed into a consumer sleep tracking app could technically prompt a sleeper to dream about a specific brand of beverage.
Exactly.
Or a particular corporate logo.
And the potential for corporate dream incubation is substantial enough that leading researchers in the field are actively drafting ethical frameworks to restrict commercial exploitation of hypnagogia.
Because you can't tell it's an ad.
Right, because the brain's critical faculty, the part that identifies an advertisement as external manipulation, is offline during sleep. So external cues can easily be integrated as organic internal thoughts.
Which reinforces exactly why learning the mechanics of your own mind is so critically important. Your dreams are incredibly valuable internal territory.
Yes, they are.
A consciousness explorer who practices these techniques and actively engages with their own sleep architecture is not a passive receptacle.
No.
By learning to set your own intentions and navigating your own hypnagogia, you claim ownership over your inner world. You steer the ship rather than leaving the wheel unattended for someone else to grab.
And there is a broader implication to that ownership. We focus heavily on the benefits of deliberate, positive dream incubation.
Yeah.
But consider what occurs on the nights we don't consciously try to plant a seed. The doom scrolling.
Oh, man.
The unresolved daily anxieties. The blue light saturated media we consume right up to the minute we close our eyes.
We're essentially performing unintentional negative dream engineering on ourselves every single night.
Exactly. The brain takes whatever raw data is most prominent at the threshold of sleep and carries it into the sorting facility. So taking control of this process isn't just about gaining a novel skill to harvest creative ideas. It is about actively interrupting a cycle of accidental negative incubation and finally taking the steering wheel that has been in our hands all along.
That is just a phenomenal perspective to carry into tonight. And I think it brings us perfectly to our question for you, the listener. What is the one thing you are going to deliberately incubate tonight?
Yeah, what's your target?
What is the specific positive question you are putting on that physical piece of paper? Drop it in the comments, tag us, and let us know what seed you are planting in the borderland.
We really look forward to seeing what you choose to build.
Ensure you follow, like, and share Lucid Journeys so you don't miss where we are heading next. You can follow @Phillip Ashling on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And remember, Book 2, The Dreams of Phillip Ashling and the Lucid Multiverse, is out right now in all formats. Yes. Alongside the 99-cent edition of Book 1 and its brand new hardcover, everything lives at phillipashling.com. This season has so much strange and wonderful territory ahead. Until then, sweet music.